It's really important that we study poverty, because if you don't study it, then you can't understand it, and if you can't understand it, you can't change it. This is an enormously wealthy country. Our issue and our concern is with how the inequalities arise such that a significant proportion of the population are having to live in circumstances that the rest certainly wouldn't wish upon themselves.
Poverty is a deeply challenging and corrosive experience in childhood. My research is about trying to understand the experience of poverty in childhood from the perspective of children themselves. We live in an affluent society. The children in this society are actually disproportionately more likely to experience poverty than the adults. And for a long time we didn't think to ask children about what that experience might be. I think certain things crop up in interviews with children that feel particularly poignant and difficult. The way that children gradually lose treasured possessions and prized possessions in childhood. Bicycles get stolen and broken, toys get broken, opportunities get closed down. Then they also have really significant concerns about their social well-being, fears about being able to maintain their friendships, being able to join in the peer groups that they aspire to, and being able to fit in and take part in the opportunities that are available to their more affluent peers. And that's a particularly challenging thing in this country at this point in time, because so much of childhood is being commodified. It's very important that we listen to what children have to say. And sometimes in my research people talk about, are you giving children a voice? Is that what you're trying to do? And I try to say, I'm not actually giving children a voice. Children have voices. What I'm trying to get is a hearing for children. And so it's really important, I think, to get children's voices, experiences and concerns a hearing in the policy setting in order to be able to have policy making that is formulated much more with children's needs and concerns in mind. One of the important aspects of my research has been to feed directly into developing the Child Poverty Act, which was passed in 2010.
What's so useful for policymakers and politicians about the research that comes from the group at the University of Bath is that it gives policymakers and politicians a sense of how policies translate into real life. As an MP, obviously I pick up from my own surgeries where individual constituents are experiencing individual problems. But what the research work of the group can do is point out where there are actually systemic problems that are affecting many families and some of the things that are driving it, so that policymakers can then turn their attention to finding solutions.
One of the things that makes the Bath approach so distinctive is the way in which, by having international development colleagues here, as well as sociologists and social workers and those interested in social policy, we're able to put our understanding and knowledge of poor countries alongside that of rich countries.
My work focuses on the experience of children and young people living in situations of political, social and economic marginality. So that includes, for example, young refugees and young people growing up in settings of armed conflict and political violence. Within the International Development Group, there are various colleagues looking more directly at measures to alleviate poverty. Colleagues working in Bangladesh, colleagues working in East Africa on microcredit as a means of enabling families to come out of poverty, colleagues working in West Africa looking at youth and urban poverty. I believe that in the Department of Social and Policy Sciences we study poverty because we care passionately about social justice and about achieving deep change in the lives of people who currently experience marginalisation.
What the Queen's Award does is demonstrate to everyone that this is a place where there is real expertise that can inform the decisions that governments and others have to make. And we want to take the opportunity this provides us to consolidate that position as being people who are committed and serious about the work of reducing inequality and poverty.
I think in our group at the University of Bath we now have a very good informed understanding of the impact of poverty in people's lives, and yet there is still critical work ahead of us.
We don't yet know all that we need to know about how gender influences people's experience of poverty. We don't know all we need to know about how ethnicity influences people's experience of poverty or disability and so on.
Poverty changes over time, policies change over time, governments change over time. Poverty is an enduring facet of modern society, even affluent ones. And it's important that we continue this body of research, particularly from the perspectives of the people who are experiencing poverty themselves, in order to understand it better and to try and make some difference in their lives.